Welcome to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast for January 14th, 2020. I'm trying to hype myself up. I'm Pat Contry alongside Ian Ferguson. Yeah, that's how Ian feels. All right, he's enthusiastic for you all out there.
What is this episode number? 194?
194. On episode 194, not counting some of our live appearances, it's officially 194. Pokemon Direct, Xbox One X won't have first-party exclusive games for a year, allegedly. And a couple of things we forgot to talk about from CES, catch up, and as well as some Heritage Auction sealed Wada game news. We'll discuss there. Ian, how was your weekend?
It was good. Spent a lot of time in the kitchen. I recorded 2 episodes of Extra Napkins in one day. That was fun.
Wow, you do a rock block.
Yeah, that was...
Well, what are some of the topics?
Let's see. What did we do?
Marmalades?
No, what did we discuss this week? We discussed cooking shows.
Okay.
And then we ditched the monthly videos for Patreon, and then we just added a bonus episode and where we go and like review restaurants, and we did Chiba Hut this week. Okay. Chiba Hut's a little sandwich chain, but it's all like stoner themed.
I never heard of that before.
It's very, very good.
Okay.
I highly, man, that place taught me the joys of a pizza sub with cream cheese on it.
I don't think I ever had a pizza sub.
Holy shit, you've never had a pizza sub?
So, wait, hold on. It's mozzarella cheese, then cream cheese on top of it?
So it's like a pizza sub in general is, I mean...
I've heard of it.
It's what you would think it is. It's pizza sauce, it's mozzarella, it's usually pepperoni, salami, et cetera, et cetera. Toasted up nice.
On a bun.
On a roll. Nice like garlic roll.
Sturdy roll.
So
just double the carbs.
But at this place, you can get cream cheese. And,
okay.
I'm fucking telling you, cream cheese is a great thing, and pizza sub with cream cheese is wonderful. So good.
We know my bagel saga with my uncle, but I do like cream cheese.
Yeah, God, it's so good.
It's so awful for you, but
it's so good. But yeah, anyway, I love cream cheese. Anyways,
Philadelphia cream cheese. I must have ate it like 8 times a week when I was a kid.
And I made a really good gravy last night.
You made a good gravy?
I made a good
turkey gravy?
Like a beef gravy from drippings.
Some drippings?
Did a pot roast.
That sounds hot.
Oh, it was good. Anyways, that was my weekend. It was
drippings.
It was my so we did that, and then I finished up The Witcher. It was fine.
It was fine?
It was fine. It was good. I mean, I'll watch more of it. I'm not as like all gung-ho about it, I think, as some other people are, but it was a worthwhile expenditure of my 8 hours or whatever it was.
I felt like garbage this weekend. I was going to edit a Flea Market Madness video, and I just felt like, I don't know, I'm just being run down. I'm leaving a little sick today. So I watched, my new thing is just documentaries. I love documentaries now, documentary series. So I watched Wild Wild Country, and that was excellent. It was about the...
Yeah, you're telling me about that one. I gotta watch
that. Semi-cult, kind of cult-ish. The people that set up a whole town, really. They set up a commune in Oregon, bought all this land. They set up a fully functioning town. Then they invaded the town and bought property because they tried to force them out. A big power struggle politically in Oregon in the early 80s.
Yeah, okay. I know the story you're talking
Fascinating.
about. More than
you can't make it up. So I watched that, and then afterwards I watched the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, which was about the British couple that their 3-year-old was disappeared in the middle of the night. 3 or 4-year-old disappeared in the middle of the night when they're on vacation in Portugal, and it's just like. And then it was just so the twists and turns, and then them at odds with the Portuguese police, because then the Portuguese police turned on them, and then everyone turned on them, which was like, people were like, what? How can you blame them when you have no evidence, and then manufactured evidence, and they still haven't found her, and it's just really just like, you're just like, oh my God, this is just horrible how this happened. But, some good came out of the end. That they brought down a whole pedophile ring with one of the private investigators that were hired to find her. So like there was some good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, because he was. I mean, this private investigator was trying to track her down, however means necessary, and you got to go to the underbelly of the world to try to do this stuff. But they never found her, and it's one of those things where, you can't give up hope, because there's stories that come out every year about kids that are gone for 10, 15 years that are found.
Sure.
That aren't ended up being killed, and it's one of those things where you hope it's one of those situations. But it's like, oh my God, I can't imagine being a parent in a situation not knowing what happened to my kid. That's just like the biggest nightmare you could have and it really showed how awful the news was in treating them, and even treating people that were even just remotely connected and just accusing everyone around that was in that was like a beach, a Portuguese resort there. Just but you have to love nonfiction. And then I ended up the weekend watching. It's a short documentary, it's like 45 minutes. Something I had heard of, but didn't know there was a documentary. It was about a guy in LA accused of murder. And then he didn't know at first he was at a Dodgers game. Then he was at the Dodgers game, but they couldn't really find evidence he was there at the Dodgers game. It's their word, the family against the prosecutors. And then end up where he actually is on tape when they filmed. That was the episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where they went to Dodger Stadium. If you ever saw that one, where he brings
maybe
Larry hires an escort, a prostitute, so he can use the carpool lane and get to the game quicker. It's that episode. It's one of the early episodes. It's hysterical.
Oh, and okay, yeah.
So the guy's on screen with his daughter at the game, and that helped exonerate him. Otherwise, it was like this guy could have went to prison forever for a crime he clearly didn't, commit. But the prosecutors were all gung ho that he was the guy based upon eyewitness account that was the guy. I saw him, and it wasn't him, obviously. So just more of a lighter hearted one day of the weekend for crime documentaries there. So real quick, you can pick up CU Podcast enamel pins at ultimatenintendo.com. We sold a few last week, Ian.
Pin our faces on yourself.
Yes, our lovelier cartoon visage. Is it visage?
Visage, I believe is how it's pronounced. Visage.
It's like a visual massage. Also, you can get a certain NES and Super Nintendo guidebook there. And soon, Ian, you'll be able to purchase Not For Resale, a video game documentary, at the web store as well.
Whoa, wow.
In Blu-ray form, and I'm trying to figure out the digital
smokes.
one.
Holy smokes.
I don't know if I should just start kicking Ian in the shin sometimes when
Holy smokes.
for saying this stuff. And I'll have the trailer on there. Speaking of trailers, Ian, we got a couple to discuss. I don't know if we have to watch the Morbius one. Did you see the Morbius trailer?
No, I don't care.
So Morbius is the Jared Leto led in association with Marvel, they say, because it's not an MCU movie, but they're trying to elbow you to think it is. So they're like, from the studio that brought you Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home, that was really, Marvel Studios that produced it. We won't say anything there. So they're trying to make it seem that it's MCU, but it's clearly not. But in the trailer, there's a poster of Spider-Man on the side saying murderer, which references, spoilers, the end of Far From Home. And then they put in Michael Keaton as Vulture for no reason at all, just to have you go, oh, I remember him from the first Spider-Man movie, saying, hey, what's up, Doc, to Jared Leto as he walks by. Because I guess Morbius is a doctor. I didn't know he was Doctor Strange, a doctor that becomes a vampire. It's a vampire movie. It's Morbius.
Dr. Vampire is my favorite soap opera.
Morbius is a C+ lister Marvel anti-hero that I guess people will see this if they saw Venom, but Venom's a lot more well-known than Morbius. But it's so weird because Jared Leto was just tossed aside unceremoniously as Joker. He's never going to play Joker again in the DCEU, which is in shambles right now. But I am looking forward to the new Batman movie, by the way, which has nothing to do with the last Batman with Affleck.
I don't think I'm looking forward to anything DC at this point.
It's
I was
weird.
kind of hoping to. I thought maybe we were getting to a point where I could, but there's the fucking trailer for 84. I want to see it, but
it looks good. I think it looks good.
It
was fun. The first Wonder Woman.
It was great, and I was excited for a sequel. But I'm just less excited now. I think it's like we talked about it. I think it's partially the nostalgia. It's like, oh, let's milk the 80s, fucking grab it by the teats and pull as hard as we can. It's a combination of that and the fact that I'm just kind of superheroed out.
Well, someone said to me in terms of Back to the Future, if they made Back to the Future today, they'd go back to 1990, which put it in perspective. Really put it in perspective how old we are and how much time has passed.
Yeah.
In the 80s, 55, which is like trying to think of 55 now. That's like another century. It literally is another century. But that's like another.
Yes.
But that's But it's another world to think of 1955. Even 85 is like another world. but not like 55, because 85 you had computers and some technology. 55 you had none of it.
You mean 85? Yeah.
Oh, so I mean, yeah, 85 you had like, I could live in 85 and be happy. I probably could, even knowing what I know now. At 55, there's no way in hell I'd be able to, live and enjoy anything. We don't have anything that.
Well, there's lots of video games for you to not play in 1985, so you'd be all right.
But we had video games. That's the thing. Like we had everything, almost everything we had in 85, except for like the internet we really didn't have yet. CompuServe and, we had the bulletin boards, the BBSs, which you were on, but I wasn't. So like, that's the point. Anyway, what was I trying to say? Yeah, 30 years can be a big amount of time or not, depending upon where you are. We're in a period of time now where technology is going up exponentially in you know what I mean? Like, so now you can't imagine 30 years from now when you have nanites inside of our bodies, like curing broken cells, when no one will have diseases in probably 50 years from now, that we're on the cusp of something great here that me and you are going to miss out on.
All right, well, that's the Morbius trailer.
We're just missing the Morbius immortality. That's what I'm trying to get to here. But we also have a trailer for Super Nintendo Land that I want you to watch.
I already watched it.
You did watch it.
Yeah.
Damn it! I wanted to get your first impressions of it, of you seeing it, about what that was.
My first impressions were not good.
I almost feel like we should put it on the background again. It's a music video that's advertising a theme park where I don't know what I'm supposed to think while I'm watching this trailer.
Well, that's what I said last night. So we were alerted to this dropping sometime last night, I think was when it came out. And so I stopped what I was doing, which was playing Mario Kart, and loaded up the old YouTube on the Switch. Real handy.
Turn that dial
and pulled it up. And I don't know, people weren't really saying anything, but they seemed excited. So I pulled it up and watched it with Vonnie, and I mean, Vonnie was almost like, I'm less excited now. Whatever it was trying to do, I don't think it did a good job.
It showed everyone, this is the joke I've been made ever since the Switch came over. Everyone playing a Nintendo console is between the ages of like 18 and 24. There's like this weird age range that they're like dead set on. This is our demographic. No one really old, almost no one really young even in the video. I'm like, everyone's older.
That's advertising, Pat. That's advertising.
They're even
the era.
Getting away from the kid part, which is weird when you watch Nintendo's advertising the past few years. I'm just saying it's strange. That's all.
So basically, it shows people running around a CG Mario world. The best thing I can say about it is that it's probably trying to show people what it might look like.
Oh, no, there's kids at the end there. Okay.
But it doesn't show any actual shots of the park in construction. It doesn't show any actual themes, and it doesn't show any actual chunks of rides. All it really does is convey the idea, okay, we're going to have a Nintendo themed theme park. And you're going to use your phone while you're there.
There's a couple shots of people on the phones connecting or what have you. Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, it shows
some like Mario Kart. It shows some
the Mario Kart
platform stuff.
It shows the Mario Kart. It shows some platform stuff. It shows people dashing towards a flagpole.
It shows people avoiding fireballs with a smile on their face and also running away from thwomps. That's like we're running away from getting crushed. And I'm like, huh.
It shows the Yoshi. It shows like the bunch of Yoshis on the on the mountain. So I mean, looking the only thing I did was I looked at it and then I kind of pulled up the images that we talked about and like the layout of the park. And it looks like what they show in the commercial is kind of similar to what they were talking about in that leak that we discussed.
Sure.
But that's about it. There's, like I said, there's really nothing in that, in the trailer gives you any idea as to really what it's going to look like or be like when you get there. It's a bunch of CG in action sequences.
When I think back and back into the good days in New Jersey, whenever I'd see commercials for the Greater Westchester County Fair, you might have seen commercials for that even in Buffalo. No, you didn't. Okay, Westchester County was a little closer to me. Or seeing Boatcraft amusement park commercials. Shout out to Boatcraft, rest in peace. Or Six Flags Great Adventure. You have Six Flags in New York?
Yeah.
So whenever those commercials had, remember the weird old guy dancing to Venga Boys, We Like to Party?
Yes.
And things like that. You saw pictures of the park,
right? And
rides and people. Whenever they had to remember Fright Fest, they showed people, do the haunted hayride and do this. The point is like you saw what was being advertised that you could do. Here, this is a weird CG mock-up of your experience, but they have a dance routine and weird stuff that you're probably not going to do at the park. So at this point, to me, it's almost like a teaser awareness trailer, but they advertise it even as a music video where world-class hitmaker
Charlie XCX.
Galantis and they say worldwide popular singer Charlie XCX collaborated to create the Super Nintendo World music video. It's like, well, you hired him to do it. So, I mean, it's just strange to me. Obviously, it's probably too early. They're trying to get this for the Tokyo Olympics, which makes sense, and that's later, obviously, in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer says, come play this summer.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not trying to be too cynical about it, but I felt nothing watching this.
No, neither did I.
I feel something.
I'm excited for the idea of a Nintendo theme park. I think it'll be fun, but this is the sort of trailer that I would expect them to put out when they announced the idea of it. Like, this is something that I would have thought I'd see a year or 2 years ago, not 6 months before the park is supposed to open.
Comes off a little cultish, the video, I have to say. Everyone's wearing their Mario hats and everyone's smiling, and
yeah,
it's a little.
It wasn't a good trailer. I don't think it did what it set out to do.
Okay, they do sprinkle in the young kids. There's no one over the age of 24 in this video. I just think it's interesting. That's all. You gotta have some old people running around like, ah!
Yeah, I'm gonna be there fucking with my knee brace on.
Knee brace on with your hot Yoshi colored walking stick.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have those. Maybe they do. I don't know. Well, check out the trailer there. I think it's interesting.